Oh, so I'm live on YouTube, and I'm going to post this onto my Facebook page for Alex Spear as a novelist, which is my pen name. My real name's Helen Hitchens, and I do art as well as writing. This is my latest novel, Fear of Flying, which I've self-published on Amazon. It's my seventh novel. It's a murder mystery, and I'm actually working on the sequel now. So I just thought I would share a little bit with folks in case you're thinking about getting this one, and then you'll be in good shape if you read it in time before I publish the sequel, which is called Skin Game. So it's set in New Orleans. I'm a Brit, as you can tell from the accent. So a lot of my books at the moment seem to include just my take on what it's like to move to another country. I love America. I think it's the best country in the world. The only other place I'd live in, apart from the US, I think is London. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot. You have to bear with me. There's a lot that I get wrong and that I am mistaken about. But I try to put those problems and those errors that I make into my writing to spare my blushes. Then instead of it being cringe, it's research. Yeah. So this book, Fear of Flying, is about Wayne, and he has brought his fiancée Ophelia and their young son Banksy over to New Orleans to live. They originally lived in Surrey, which is where I grew up. It's one of the home counties around London. I'm just going to read a short section from chapter 17, which is called Banksy, and that's the name of their young son. And it's set March 2017. I have to put the dates within each chapter of this book because it jumps back and forth. Wayne's remembering what happened in the past, and then it also is the present day, where he's describing his life story to a biker in a bar. So this is what it says. Better to have lightning in the hand than thunder in the mouth. Ophelia has been missing for 2 months. The police are doing all they can. Her parents are beside themselves with worry, and I have travelled out to New Orleans to help with the search. I try to keep my son going as best I can. I tell him that Mommy decided to go on a little vacation and she'll be back with us soon. He's nearly 4 years old now. He misses his mum terribly and is fearful and anxious that she is gone. He seems to have reverted to an earlier age. I ask him for his help getting through, and he gives me a serious face when he tells me he will try his best. Banksy and I fly back to England with Poll and Bunny, that's Ophelia's parents. They try to organise the search from here. No one knows where Ophelia has run away to, so she may be back in Swinton for all I know. Swinton is a fictional town I created for these books. It's sort of based on a sleepy farming village in Surrey of the sort that's around there, all along the River Thames, between kind of Guildford and obviously London in the centre there. Banksy is off his food. I'm trying to get my son to eat hummus. I want him to eat hummus because I want him to eat more vegetables. It is bad enough that we're both so stressed and upset and camping in cheap hotels in England. I don't want either of us to get sick or constipated. We used to be quite good at eating carrot sticks, celery, that kind of thing. He would eat raw broccoli quite happily in New Orleans because he could slather it in ranch dressing. I thought this might be a reasonable version of ranch, but no. Hummus is disgusting, apparently. My boy was born abroad and does not have European tastes, it seems. And you can't find ranch in England. Tzatziki is similar, I thought. You know the Greek yogurt with cucumbers? But no. My son tells me that tzatziki is also disgusting. I mean, he's 4 years old. Ophelia's father, Poll, is a broken man. He makes appeals on the TV and continues to fund the search for his daughter in England and in the US. I try to keep Banksy's life as undisturbed as I can. He will be starting school soon. So many huge changes for him. I try to imagine what Ophelia would say if she were here. I think she would say, don't start school if he's not the right time for him. What with his mother being missing, delay by a year or more, if that's right for him. But I'm just guessing. I hate not having her here to discuss things with. Being a dad is hard, anyone will tell you that. Now I'm doing it with the weight of grief. As soon as I open my eyes and become conscious again in the morning, I'm knocked down by the sadness of knowing that Ophelia is not with us. and I paste a smile on my face before I let my son see. He has been proud of sleeping separately from us, but now he is back in the bed with me. Otherwise, he gets terrible nightmares. He has become a cuddler. "What should we do today, champ?" I ask him, tousling his hair. Every morning we wake up and it's the same thing. I try to think what I can make for him that isn't too unhealthy. English hotel rooms tend not to have a microwave, just an electric kettle. I try not to fall back on deliveries of ready-made food, too expensive and too many additives. There is a store nearby and we will walk to it later. If they have rotisserie chickens, that could work. A hot meal for us both. I'm already planning our day of fruit, protein, exercise. If that store does not have rotisserie chicken, I will look for something close to chicken salad, I guess. Next, I go to a parade. In desperation, I take Banksy to Mardi Gras this year as usual. I never thought we'd be there without his mom. That morning, I am rattled. The police drop around to ask me why Ophelia might have left. This was on Fat Tuesday. I was astonished that the police were working. Miss Julie also appeared. Miss Julie is a friend of theirs that they've made in New Orleans. Well, she's more Ophelia's friend than Wayne's, because the two ladies like to go to church together, and Wayne is not a church goer. He doesn't believe in God. I don't know how she ended up being in my house when the police were here, plucking at my elbow to interfere, listening into our conversation. "Wayne, you need to understand," Julie is saying to me. "Your wife is scared of how you've been carrying on. You're too old for that shit." I didn't understand what she's saying with her Louisiana accent. I'm in no mood to be patient. "I'm too what?" "Old," she bellows. "You're too old for it. Time to grow up. You're a daddy and all." I haven't done a thing wrong, I yell back at Miss Julie. Ophelia is crazy. Who else would take her in but me? If I'm so terrible, she knows what she has to do. She should just leave and have done with it. That rich family of hers can raise my son for all I care. This was my way of not being held to account, of never modifying my behaviour. The police have gone. I think they were inclined to agree with me, two youngish guys. They seem to assume that Ophelia has left of her own accord. The fact she did not take her son counts against her as a mother. Maybe they even feel sorry for me. I tried to get Banksy's day back on track. "Would you like a ride to the parade route, Miss Julie?" I say, dripping with insincere charm. "We have a spot on canal we've been standing at for the last few years to watch the huge floats and to catch the throws. The 24-hour IHOP will usually let you use the bathroom if you buy something." Banksy misses his mom, of course, and he is somewhat rattled by the police coming and going, but today is all about the finest junk food this country has to offer. As Banksy and I move through the crowds that line the parade route, the sun is beginning to climb high in the sky. I am running with sweat. I am wearing a backpack filled with frozen bottles of water, just like Ophelia would have done if she were here. I use a clean bandana to try to wipe under my chin. So later they get back and Miss Julie seems to have come with them. She doesn't live far from them, but she wants to try and help Wayne and he just wants to be left alone. He's bitter and angry and his wife has left him and nobody knows where she is, and he's the prime suspect, of course, because often he's the husband if a wife disappears. So they're back in his house and he's drinking Fireball to try to be in a better mood. Miss Julie is annoying him, but it's not her fault. He's something of an unreliable narrator, I think that's how you'd say it. Because he's mean and the way that he describes the people around him is not necessarily fair. Julie's helping herself to sweet tea in my kitchen. I grabbed myself a large Fireball, poured straight into one of those plastic cups we managed to grab as a parade throw. I did not have time to mess around with ice. I'm tempted to swig directly from the bottle, but Miss Julie is making no move to get off my property. I guess I'm still British enough to be somewhat civilized in front of company. After a few deep glugs of the cinnamon syrup, I feel calmer. I breathe. "Give you a ride somewhere?" "No, thank you, Wayne. I'm about to leave. Don't you worry." But she does not. I sink into our sofa and moodily refill my plastic cup with the sweet booze. I know she doesn't approve of drinking, so perhaps that will get her moving. Julie is pontificating again, giving me all her views that I absolutely do not wish to hear. You know, I think this is a test from God, she's telling me. I interrupt her. Here is something I really know for sure. If you're lucky enough to feel the blessing of God's love, you should use that to help others, other folks. Don't just tell them that they need to find God. That's abdicating your responsibilities. She considers, well, I never thought about it like that. I continue in a bitter tone. I'm too far gone for God to ever forgive me. She is shocked. No one is. Don't say that. So what do you think? I'm going to leave it there. So it's Fear of Flying. It's available on Amazon. If you look at my Alex Spear author page, you can see some other books I've published in the past. But I've self-published this one and working on the sequel. Hope everybody has a fabulous day.